let's get more on this story. We go live to CP24's Arda Zakarian. So now we're getting a bit more information on what could have happened. Arda.
Yes, and I have with me an entertainment lawyer. This is Eb Reinbergs. Thank you so much for joining us from 360 Legal. So you heard this statement from Justin Bieber's lawyer. What do you make of it?
Well, it's very interesting. I can read it line for line, Arta. What they're doing right now is setting up the storyline. As you can see, Justin is saying he was peaceful. They were interrupted. We're looking at him having an altercation with someone. The storyline that's being set up here is that this was out of his control, that he is absolutely, and I say this again, absolutely innocent.
Now, Justin Bieber has gotten into trouble before this in Canada and the United States. Do you think this incident will pose a challenge for him traveling back and forth?
Well, then we have to take a look at this through the eyes of immigration law. Now, just having a charge against you in Canada does not bar somebody from going to the United States. What the U.S. immigration laws look at is the seriousness of the offense and what has occurred. When I look at this offense and I see a minor traffic altercation, I also see something that we don't know exactly what has happened between Justin and one of the members that was in the minivan. Nothing has played itself out here yet. However, we do know that nobody was injured with respect to this entire incident. So can I see this stopping him or barring Justin, an individual who owns property in the U.S. and has a real reason for being there? Do I see this stopping him at the border from getting into the U.S.? Right now, absolutely not.
Okay, and Justin is 20 years old. He has all of this money at his disposal. Do you think that trouble is following him, or is he kind of looking out for these kinds of incidents?
Arta, this is just my opinion, but I would say it's a little bit of both in this situation. He's young. He's brash. So, of course, when you're young, you jump in a few muddy puddles here and there and you get splashed. However, we are also talking about somebody who has money, to burn, if I can call it that. So, yes, he can find himself in unique situations. He also happens to be a world-renowned star. So, yes, a little bit of trouble follows him. He receives attention everywhere that he goes, whether it be from the paparazzi, whether it be from fans, whether it be from any type of element. It's a little bit of both.
Okay, thank you so much, Eb, and we'll just have to wait and see how all of this plays out. Back to you, Farah.
This is part of an omnibus bill, and what an omnibus bill is a long laundry list of different proposals that can easily get passed through the House of Commons because the Tories have a majority.
This is a slippery slope, especially in light of this new digital intellectual property world that we live in.
Lawyer Ed Renberg says there are many questions if the copyright laws are changed. For example, could political parties use video shot last night while the Tragically Hip played Young Dundas Square?
You guys go down there and you film this wonderful concert that took place last night. The federal government is going to say, hey, we want that footage. We want to use it for our own purposes. And guess what? You guys in the media have nothing to say about it. But the question now that needs to be answered is, what about the Hip? What do they have to say about it? Do they have any rights here?
The bill is expected to be pushed through the House of Commons before the end of the year. Tom Hayes, City News.
Ed Reinbergs is an entertainment lawyer for 360 Legal here in Toronto. Assume he hasn't called you yet. What kind of trouble might he be in?
You know what, Kevin, I think this is going to blow over, and this is going to be much ado about practically nothing. Yes, we've heard that there's been some cocaine. He has not been arrested. What we've heard is he's not arrested, yet he's not exonerated. Nothing has happened yet, and in my perspective, nothing's going to happen.
So it's not really about the eggs. It's not about if he was involved in an act of vandalism. But if the cocaine is out in the open, as the LA police says it was, in his home at the time that someone in his house is arrested, is there any culpability there as a homeowner?
Absolutely. If nobody stepped up and said, hey, that cocaine belongs to me, well, he's the homeowner. It looks like the charges would be laid against him. But in this case, they have arrested. They've arrested an adult male in the home, most likely because that person said that cocaine belongs to me, or it was easily identifiable to that person.
So that person is identified as someone in his entourage. You work in the entertainment industry. If you have an entourage around you, some police are coming in, you've got a pile of white stuff on the table, what is the job of the entourage at that point?
Absolutely, they did their job in this case. Somebody better step up and take the rap for Justin. That's their job. Or else, why are they in the home in the first place? Honestly, his PR team is going to turn this into something that's positive. Everybody around him is going to step up and say, listen, he's our meal ticket. He's the guy that pays the bills around here, and we're not going to let the golden goose take the rap on this. Somebody better step up, and somebody has.
Okay, well, they are, there's virtual silence from that group around him tonight. We checked the websites. There's nothing being said at this point. Let's talk about how it happened. I mean, yeah, he's a big star. He lives in a mansion. 9 to 10 squad cars show up for what was basically an egging incident in the neighborhood. Does that sound right?
Well, in this case, to me, it does. Justin has been causing trouble in the neighborhood for some time. We're talking about a gated community of high net worth individuals, people that have connections. The neighbor called the police station. The sheriff said, I need to treat this as an important case. 12 people jump into the squad car and they show up at Justin's house. Now, 2 reasons. One, there's a political aspect to this. The sheriff wants to be reelected. Sure, we're going to make it look like this is important and that we're taking care of this because we want everybody in the community to know that we are here to serve and protect. Now, there's also a social aspect. Hey guys in the station house, there's a problem down at Justin's. Let's all jump into the van and let's get over there. Wouldn't you jump in? I know I would.
Yeah, I might have a camera rolling if I was invited. So, I mean, what about the business aspect? Now, we should say Justin has not been questioned by police at this point. He has not been charged with a thing. If there are charges pending, even for the vandalism of the egg throwing incident, does that impact his ability to travel across borders, and does that impact his business?
Well, let's look at it. We're looking at a felony. Yes, we are. But it's a felony with respect to the damages that he caused from throwing eggs. Any country where Justin is going to perform, yes, he would have to divulge this information, disclose this information, but the country doing its job would do an economic analysis. What is the economic benefit of Justin going to the UK? Justin, well, he's from Canada, so he doesn't have to worry about it here. But going to some other country and performing, the economic benefit outweighs the issues here. The egg throwing, this little minuscule, and I'm going to call it a small felony, if I can call that. I know a lot of my lawyer friends would say, hey, you can't do that. But we're talking about an egg throwing incident here. And I don't think he would have any issues traveling with respect to his career as a result of this matter.
Except he might have to dodge a few more eggs if he gets to perform.
As I said earlier, I think he should just get the flapjacks out and pour a little Canadian maple syrup over everything.
With eggs? Ed, thank you. Thanks for your perspective.
You got it, Kevin.
That was fascinating. Okay, wait a minute. Don't leave yet, because what is a Nest? And what does Google want with having one in your home? I'll tell you.